All right, next question. This is our woman engineers. I had a coworker put me down several times during a meeting, so I asked him to leave. I, 29 female, am very new to engineering. I'm at my first job and I've been there for about 3.5 months, so I am very new. A lot of my questions may seem dumb to people, but I'm fresh out of college, so I literally feel like I know nothing. Throughout a meeting I was in, I had a coworker continually put me down along with my work on the project. Finally, he made a comment to me about how C's get degrees. I've had enough, so I asked him to leave, and surprisingly he did. Obviously, none of the other people in my meeting, all men, said anything, and they just moved on. I was furious and trying not to cry, but I made it through the meeting and talked to HR today about it. I hope these dinosaurs retire soon because I am only 3 months into this career and it's exhausting having to deal with this, but also the feeling of not getting any backup. So, first, I want to say that I think that was a pretty good response, asking him to leave. You are 3.5 months into the work, and really people should understand that and know that if they're in a meeting evaluating your presentation or your work or commenting. If they're in a position where they can comment on your work, then they should know that you've been there for only 3.5 months and you are new and you're learning. And they should treat you with that level of respect to know that, hey, you're not going to have everything right the first time. So as long as your effort is there and you're trying and you're asking good questions, then it makes a lot of sense that you should be able to. You shouldn't be in a position where somebody says that to you, especially the comment "C's get degrees." That's just it's the ad hominem attack of insulting your intelligence is just inappropriate, and I think that it's appropriate that you took it to HR. I mean, I would have taken it to your manager first instead of just jumping towards HR. I don't know what the organization of your company is, but I would have maybe taken it to my manager and have it documented with HR. I mean, I wouldn't have handled it very much differently. So, really good job about that. But here's a couple questions I have, and the first one is I'm curious what industry you work in, and I know you said that you said you hope that these dinosaurs retire soon because I'm only 3 months into this career and it's exhausting having to deal with this, but also the feeling of not getting any backup. So it sounds like you might not be in a work culture that's good for you, and you might need to maybe look at working somewhere else because that's not the norm in my experience from talking to women that I know that work for respectable engineering companies. They are treated like professionals, they're treated like adults, they're treated as equals. And if you really believe that you're being treated this way because you're a woman especially, then, and even in general, like, you just shouldn't treat new people this way. But I would kind of start looking for elsewhere. And then the other thing you mentioned is, like, a lot of my questions may seem dumb to people, but I'm fresh out of college, so I literally feel like I know nothing. I would ask, just to make sure, what kind of questions are you asking? I think that it's really good to ask a lot of questions, and you should be asking questions, and some of your questions may seem dumb to people. The only thing I think about is, are you asking the same question more than once? Are you asking the same questions over and over again? If you are, then maybe there's some evaluation that you need to have on yourself to make sure that you're taking really good notes and you're limiting the number of repeated questions you ask. The second thing I want to ask you is, you say you feel like you literally know nothing. So the question is remember, you are an engineer. You have your degree. So the question is, are you taking the time to put effort in and critically try to solve problems before you ask the questions? Whenever you're asking questions, you're saying, hey, I looked into this, I tried this, but I wasn't able to get there because I got stuck here and I got stuck here. Can you help me get over this gap? If those are the kind of questions you're asking, then there's no reason for people to be treating you the way that you've described that you treated them. But those are the biggest points of feedback that I personally got when I first started working, was like, stop asking the same questions over and over again, and at least come to me with what you've tried to do to this point before coming and asking me a question. Because if you haven't even made an attempt, or I'm constantly answering the same questions over and over again, I am going to get frustrated. So you know, I don't know any of these things, and I'm not saying that that's who you are and what you're experiencing, but I'm just asking these questions because I just want to make sure that you're setting yourself up for as much success. So do some self-evaluation. I'm hoping that you have some kind of manager that gives you some kind of backup. Are any of these people that were in that meeting your manager? Again, I would talk to that person, ask them for feedback. What kind of questions am I asking? Am I asking good questions? Do you think I'm doing my part to try to solve problems as an engineer before bringing questions to you? And get some feedback from that manager, and then also work with them on the relationship building and the HR thing. But if you're in a position where you can't get that support from your manager and you do not feel like you have a future with this company, go ahead and start looking elsewhere. But yeah, that's just kind of what I would do. Is, I mean, it sounds like you're really frustrated and you have a little bit of animosity towards these people, and it may be completely righteous. I don't know that, and I'm assuming that, and I'm going to start from the position that you are completely righteous. But I just want to ask these questions to encourage you to think about these things, just to make sure that you didn't have anything to play with it. But anyways, again, I'm a guy responding to a question on our women engineers, so maybe I'm giving terrible advice. I invite especially the woman, but anybody in the comments to chime in. But I was hoping to just provide some general advice that's not necessarily just applicable to this person being a woman. But guys, write in. Let me know if I stepped up, got this wrong here. But let me know. And let me know how you would react to this situation.
I'm not complaining, I'm not complaining. My thoughts get complicated, I cannot explain in lameness. Never losing focus because I ain't chasing payments. Still playing in the basement while I'm working on arrangements. They heard the kid in 50 countries, thank God that's amazing. But I'd rather thank Spotify, they put me on the station.